Today I want to talk to you about my favourite director, Tim Burton. I know he's known for more like horror goth, which is more what I'm into anyway, but that isn't it. And I just want to give him a shout out while we still can. He is 65 years old. He has been pumping it out non-stop-ish since the 80s. Give the guy some credit for that. One of his first epic films that I was such a big fan of, even though I was very young, was 1988 Beetlejuice.
Their house is being haunted by the living,
Maybe the house could use a little remodeling.
and they can't scare them into leaving.
They're dead. It's a little late to be neurotic.
So they're calling on Beetlejuice,
Beetlejuice!
who's no ordinary ghost.
You don't want his help.
Can you be scary?
What a classic. It's like a comedy horror, like the original comedy horror. It's funny, it's quirky, it's different, it's funky, it's strange, but there's a brilliant storyline and it is a little bit spooky and creepy as well. Classic.
What do you think of this?
And then swiftly after that, we're going on to Edward Scissorhands. Again, another one of my absolute top favourite films. We recently talked about Christmas favourites, and I forgot to mention Edward Scissorhands. I can't believe I did.
This is some huge house, isn't it? Hello? Why are you hiding back there? You don't have to hide from me. I'm as harmless as cherry pie. Those are your hands? Those are your hands.
I was obsessed with this. I didn't care that he was a monster. I wanted to marry him. 1990. So if you don't know, it's Johnny Depp with hands made of scissors. There's a very good reason. So again, it's quirky, it's offbeat, but we always have a good storyline. And again, you managed to get the comedy, the drama, but the horror and the creepiness in there. It was like a mix between a children's and an adult's film. So those are kind of an ilk. They're similar in that way, in the type of films that they are, I would say. Beetlejuice and Edward Scissorhands.
I can't.
He did Batman and Batman Returns. He then ends up doing animated. So The Corpse Bride, 2005, Frankenweenie, 2012. Yeah, animated, but still quirky and still creepy, because that's what he loves. And moving on, 1996, Mars Attacks. Again, so quirky. Science fiction this time. Still carrying on the quirky theme, still carrying on the creepy theme. He's almost sort of like a Salvador Dali. It's almost like it doesn't matter what he does, it's gonna be creepy. It's gonna have that little injection of quirk in there. Same as Johnny Depp. He loves working with Johnny Depp. They both, I think, have that gothic side to them, that quirky, interesting side. They won't do anything straightforward and boring. It has to be different and out there. Technically, he's also cracking the genre musicals. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Now, I'm talking about the 2005 version. Obviously, there's been versions since, and not keen on them. Why? Because they don't have the quirky horror stuff in. That is so Tim Burton. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, back in 2005, with Johnny Depp. Oh, just nothing can compare to that. I'm very surprised that they're even trying, to be honest. What about you? What do you think? Is it just me? He has directed several episodes of that new-ish Netflix series, Wednesday. Such a great character, Wednesday. Reminds me of the Christina Ricci character in Beetlejuice back in the 80s. So not surprised that came from Tim Burton at all. And he was nominated for an Emmy for that. Unfortunately didn't win it, but was nominated. Juice back in the 80s. So not surprised that came from Tim Burton at all. And he was nominated for an Emmy for that. Unfortunately didn't win it, but was nominated. And speaking of which, while I'm on the subject of my favourite director, I was thinking, has he had that many awards? Is he underrated? He should have more awards. But yeah, he's had loads, actually. I double-checked my knowledge on that. And he's had Academy Awards, BAFTA Awards, Golden Globes, including for my favourite, Edward Scissorhands, and others. So, yeah, he's had a few. He could have more, though. He could definitely have more. And what better way to do it than doing a new version of Beetlejuice all of these years later? So as we've already talked about the films to look out for in 2024, one of them is Tim Burton's new Beetlejuice. That's right, it's coming out later this year. Wait for it. And it's going to be out not until September, but I am so excited already because it's still going to have so many of the original cast. I don't know how they're doing it these days. I really don't. It's like they should be too old, but they're not. They're not. They're still kicking butt. They're still doing amazing. I'm so excited to see that. Are you? Are you? Let me know, as always. Do you love Tim Burton? Did I miss anything that was quite prominent? Let me know your thoughts and feelings. Who's your favourite director? Let us know. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. There are so many more videos coming up and you never know what we're going to be talking about, right? But it's always interesting. Take care, Vortexians.